What's up? Welcome back and all of that good stuff. So as you can tell from the title of the video, I'm going to be talking about the number one thing that I have found that holds you back from achieving your financial goals, like saving money and paying down debt. And I will say this was quite surprising because this was not something that I was expecting to find. If you are new here, I used to offer coaching services to help you, set up your budget so that you can pay off debt, save money, all of that good stuff, establishing a plan for you. And I had an intake form, and I really just worked with women. And so when I say women, I mean women and men in this video, but it was just mainly women that I was working with. And so it would have them put in their financial goals, what they wanted to accomplish, as well as what they viewed as an obstacle. So what were the obstacles that they believed that were keeping them from achieving these goals? And like many of us, many of the common sore spots were a lack of discipline, a lack of self-control, a lack of accountability, a lack of a budget, lack of income, all of that, all of the normal common stuff. But when I really got in there and started working with these women, I quickly realized these things that they think are their main obstacles are not their main obstacles. And it was women from, extremely low income to those who were making multiple six figures. They were making more than me, but they were looking to me for their coaching services. They all had the same problem. And that was basically just a lack of trust in making good financial decisions for themselves. So they just wouldn't make any decisions at all. It was basically like they would not decide on anything. So they did not have anything to execute and work on consistently. Basically, they were just sitting on their hands. They had things that they wanted to accomplish, but they wouldn't make a decision. And when you really think about it, it does make sense, because if you made some bad decisions and it's put you in a really hard financial spot, if you started absorbing content from creators who appear to be financially stable, or people in your day-to-day life, if they appear to be financially stable or financially well off, you're looking at them like, I need to be making their decisions because the decisions that I've made has put me in a bad situation. So I need to be doing what they're doing, and I need them to help me because I can't make financial decisions for myself. And you're intentionally quieting your voice to make the other voices louder. And when you do this, you're unconsciously teaching yourself that you are not to be trusted to make decisions when it comes to your money without running it by someone first. And obviously, like you and me, these women had a lot of goals that they wanted to accomplish. But when I would begin to ask them questions about these goals and how they felt they should go about it, it was a lot of, how do you think I should do it? I don't know. How much do you think I should? Which one do you think I should? Kind of unsure about it. They had an idea, but they wouldn't really allow themselves to expand on that idea. And so I would quickly flip the question back on them, because my main goal was never to make them dependent on me, or I don't want anyone to be dependent on me, right? I wanted them to see that they had what it took to make good financial decisions if they allowed themselves to make the decision, execute the plan, and then stay consistent. And so when I would ask these questions, and sometimes it took a series of questions for them to piece everything together, but they would literally tell me their plans. They would be telling me what they think they should do, how much they think they should, apply to debt or to savings, and why they should do that, or why they should budget this specific amount. They had the plan all the whole time in here, and it was a great plan. They just had reduced their ability to make good decisions. And so they were just sitting on a vision that they had in their minds because there was no trust with themselves. So how can we start building trust in our decision making so that we can start making some money moves? And I feel like one of the best ways is to start by writing out a plan. Don't keep it in your mind. Literally write it out, write out your plan and follow it. But of course, it's not as simple as that. We don't just want to write down a vague goal and then try to follow that vague goal because we don't have actionable steps to take. You literally have to take what you say that you want and then break that thing down to the cent. So if we say something like, I want to pay off my credit card, then you need to direct what it is that you say that you want to do, direct that desire to yourself in the form of a question. How can I pay off my credit card? Sis, your brain is smart. You are extremely intelligent. Do not let this organ go to waste by just staying dormant. Let it go to work when it comes to your money. Let it come up with solutions for you. So I'm going to put up on the screen, we're going to go through an example together just to give you an idea of how you can create a plan based on what it is that you want to accomplish. So let's be a bit more specific when we go back to saying that we want to pay off our credit card, and say that our goal is to pay off a $1,500 Discover credit card by October 1st. And I've said this a million times, y'all, please do not set a goal without an end date, because we don't want to just say Tuesday. That's too vague. We're going to give ourselves too much time. There's no urgency in that. We want to say Tuesday, March 26th. So we want to pay off this Discover credit card by October 1st. So that gives us about 6 months, and boom, you know, we've got a focus. So from there, we need to ask ourselves, once again, making our brain go to work for us, how can I pay off this Discover credit card? Not can I, because I literally feel like if we believe in ourselves enough, maybe we can walk on water. How can I pay off this credit card? Leave the can I in the trash can. And so just like with my clients, you may have to sit with this question for a little while. It may take a few minutes. It may take a few hours. It may take a few days, because if you're coming from a place where you're not making decisions, you're not deciding on anything, you're kind of just in, what does it call it? Analysis paralysis. You're kind of just daydreaming. Like, oh, it would be nice to have a $0 balance on this Discover credit card, but you haven't decided to pay off the credit card and you don't even know how you're going to do it. You have not made any decision and acted on it. So it's going to take a little while for you to kind of work that decision-making muscle. So don't feel bad if it takes you a few days and you don't have anything that comes to mind. But when you ask yourself this question, your brain is going to go to work for you. So as these solutions come up, you want to make sure to write them down. Even if the ideas are a little shaky, I feel like a shaky plan is better than no plan. And as you go through the plan, you can fine-tune things and strengthen it based on the feedback that you've been receiving as you've been, you know, taking actionable steps. So you may remember like, oh, I have some money coming in June. Write that down wherever it is you want to write it down. If you want to write it down in the notes section of your phone, sis, do that. If you say, hey, I can pick up a few shifts, or maybe I can pick up a few shifts, you know, at work every single month, write that down too, because it's all going to play a role when it comes to you making these decisions. So going back to the $1,500 Discover goal, and then we have 6 months to get to this goal. Having that date is very intentional. You'll be able to calculate how much you are going to need at minimum every single month to make sure that the goal is met. And so what do we need to apply each month to the Discover credit card to make sure that we hit the goal by October 1st? And so if we have 6 months, that means we're going to need to apply $250 each month to make sure that we pay off this credit card. And the next question would be how, once again, not can I come up with $250 every single month? We're not even going to ask that question. How can I apply at least $250 to this Discover credit card every single month? And this is where those ideas that you've been jotting down are going to come into play. So I'm just going to go through a few examples here. Keep in mind that this is an example, but it may very well work for you. So the first one is I can work 2 shifts of overtime every single month. Now, I'm going to say this. Once again, when it comes to this plan, break it down, sis. Break it down into chunks and then into crumbs, because we need to see how this is going to work. If we can see that this is going to work, we're like, okay, I'm on to something, and I trust myself to make this decision because I see that it's going to work out. And so how much is each shift of overtime? Don't just leave it like that on your plan. We need to be making dollars work for every single thing. So how much is each shift of overtime? Let's say you make $20 an hour and overtime is 1.5 times that amount. So $30 an hour would be overtime. Each shift we're going to work 8 hours. So 16 hours times 30 would be $480. So that is what you would be bringing in extra a month, you know, before taxes. And you can kind of gauge how much your money is going to be after taxes based on how much they typically take out of your pay. So maybe you'll get like $320 after taxes. But we know how much we can potentially bring in. And so that will give us some confidence to go ahead and execute the plan. Next up, let's say we can meal plan 3 days worth of lunch every single week. If we typically go out for lunch and lunch is, we're paying $20 a day whenever we are going out for lunch, 20 times 3 days, that would be $60 that we are going to need to, reduce this amount. And so if we meal plan for those 3 days at $10 a meal, that will be $30. So that is a $30 savings, because instead of paying $60 if we were to go out for lunch, we meal plan for those 3 days and we come in at $30. You might be thinking, $30 is not worth my time. Because this is literally what I do. If I don't zoom out and look at everything over a month's time, I'm thinking that is not worth it to me. I'm going to continue to eat my lunch because $30 is not really moving the needle. I feel like I am blowing on a 100-pound pole and expecting it to move. It's not moving nowhere. But if we take that $30 and remember that this is monthly that we need to be looking at, and there are about 4 weeks in a month, 30 times 4 is $120. That sounds a whole lot better than $30. And so whenever you zoom out and make sure that you're looking at it over a month's worth of time, it can look a lot better, and then you can decide if this is something that you even want to move forward with. But this is why it is so important to break everything that you say that you're going to do or you think you can do down, so you can see how much it will potentially bring in, or that you can potentially apply to your debt. Last one, this was something, you know, way out of left field for me. Dog walk for 2 hours a week. This is something like side hustling. A lot of people I found do dog walk or dog sit or house sit. I don't really know if I am that person. I'm a cat person. It depends on how big the dog is, because the dog is gonna be walking me. But if this is something like your cup of tea, you know, let's say 2 hours a week and we're gonna do just 2 dogs at $40 a dog. So that's $80 a week. And if we do it for an entire month, that's $320 a month that we would be bringing in. And when I was doing this, I'm like, I might be able to dog walk, you know, for $320 a month. But as you are doing everything, you may very well find that you don't have to do things as long as you had originally thought that you had whenever you are making out your detailed plan. Because if this is our plan and this is something that maybe you can follow, we've got the $250 pretty easily. And so we don't have to meal plan for 3 days a week. Maybe we just do it 2 days a week, or, you know, maybe we dog walk for 1 hour a week. Or maybe we get rid of certain steps, you know. It just depends on how much you are able to come up with whenever you are doing your estimate. But this is a good way to kind of gauge where you are depending on your circumstances and what you have available to you. Obviously, this is just an example. You can, you know, fill it in with your life, what you desire to do, your side hustles. But once again, when you have a detailed plan, you have in your hand the way this can work out. And then if you have in your hand like a roadmap to your goal, that's going to give you the confidence that you need to make the decision, get off of your hands, and start working towards whatever it is that you want to accomplish. So I really do hope that this video was helpful. If you are realizing that you're not really making any decisions and you feel like you have to run certain decisions through certain people because you don't trust yourself, I pray that you take some time to sit down and really map things out, because once again, you got this up here, put it to good use. You can make good financial decisions. So if you are someone that has been in this position, definitely leave down below. Like, what have you done to help you ease out of this, worry that you're going to screw up again, and what has been truly helpful for you to help the next person? And I will catch you guys in the next one.